so wonderful. I do. I'm noticing that I've been thinking about doing Invisalign.
Rubber bands are the best part.
Yeah, my daughter has bands right now.
I look at myself and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to embrace the authentic me, because the authentic me right now has Invisalign and I have rubber bands and I paid a ton of money for them. And so I am going to rock them. Okay. My P4 is acting a little bit wonky this morning. It's working, but it's acting like slow. I guess I didn't get the memo that all the planets are direct.
It did not. So something to get you moving today is like a super, super simple way to do it is like you put your hands like this, put them up against, like up above your head, and you do breath of fire.
Nose or mouth?
Nose. And you do that for a while. And then when you're done, you put your thumbs together and your hands like straight up like that. And just like feeling, and it opens up like the chest area, which is the fire. So I know just enough to make me dangerous.
That's the most fun part of doing any of this.
Oh, I think that's why I fucked up all my tech stuff, actually. I know just enough to make me dangerous, and I fucked everything up because shit was not done. So it is what it is. I had to fire my first person.
Oh, no.
Yesterday. She didn't show up. Anyway, it is.
Yeah, you can't.
I know. Yeah.
Is she a young one?
She is younger. She's in her mid-20s, early 20s, mid-20s.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, so we're let's say Palo Santo already.
Yes, I love the Palo Santo.
Go ahead and start.
All right. Oh, we have to do our like intro and shit. I'm like, let's just do this.
This is make sure all this looks good. I think it's a little bit different right now. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna continue to burn. It's brand new. I'm breaking it in with you.
No, yay.
No. Perfect. All right. Welcome back, friends. We are here for another episode of Sit Crooked, Talk Straight. I am Katie Myers.
And I'm Leanne Jameson.
I get to do a reading this morning. I'm so excited. If you're new to the show, welcome. The title of our show is Sit Crooked. It's get comfy, like curl up. Sometimes that's like cozy on a couch. Sometimes that's fetal position on the floor. Sit crooked, talk straight. We are pulling no punches. We are speaking truth. We are truth tellers and love speakers and light workers. And we are coming from a place of this is a safe space, right? And so
yes,
we talk about all the things. But today
we do talk about all the things. I feel like I'm having, it was like your therapy session, and now it is my reading, which divulges. I don't even know what it's going to divulge, but I'm here for it and I'm ready for it. And I will be very transparent, very open about what this means. Yeah, per usual. About what this means in my life. I feel like lately I've been sharing like a reminder, especially to my clients, of just like, I am human just like you, and we are in this together. And right, we're looking at our goals for Q1, and I'm just like, I did not reach one of mine. And somebody was like, well, I have an option. It was like eating clean, right? Like, I want to eat clean, like all of it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll be like around 50%. Even that was eager for me. So I did not hit 50%. And it's so funny because one of the women in my group, she's like, hey, I'm doing this thing with, our friend who is a health and nutrition coach. And she's like, do you want to join it with me? I'm like, you know what? I don't know if my motivation's there. I gotta be honest. I just, right? I just don't. Yeah, and it's being very like just very honest with ourselves too. Like, so anyway, yeah. This is all about being human and divulging and just being open to the journey right along with you guys.
When we practice what we preach, and I think
Yeah.
so much of our journey is so relatable to so many other women's journeys that it would just be a shame to not share. And I find that when other women share their stuff, like they like bear their shit, I feel more connected to them. I feel more validated in my own experiences. There's just this connection that happens when we are vulnerable and remind ourselves and others that we're human. And
Yeah.
So with this reading, this gets more into like the spiritual realm. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you to tell like everybody like what got you into reading and spiritual, like into this different spiritual realm, because you know for people that have been listening to us, they know that we both grew up like very like Catholic Christian based
we grew up
boxes.
within boxes. We were put in boxes of Christianity and Catholicism that it is nothing even close to what I think or believe today. And I am so grateful that I had the foundation and the experience, even though there was some trauma. Purity culture is trauma. Excuse me. And I today have a completely expanded belief system. Like I just keep adding to it. I don't think I walked away from anything in particular. I think I just keep adding to what I believe and how I live life and practice. And so if you're listening, you're like, what are they talking about? Like, I will not be reading from the book.
I will not have homily.
We will not. That's good. There is. Got distracted by all that. A reading is. Let me start where this all started for me. I went to Sedona, Arizona about 7 years ago. I had a reading. I wanted to have Reiki done, but I did. But I met this woman who was a light worker. She did Reiki and healing touch, and she spoke light language to me. And she basically I walked in one person, and I feel like I walked out like energetically and like cellularly different. Like something had changed on like a cellular level, and it was just like, holy cow. I come back from that trip. Life is what it is. I kind of fall back into old patterns and habits, but it's always like lingering in the back of my head of like, this is something that like you were drawn to. This is something that made a difference, that mattered to you. And so I just kept coming back to it. So I got certified as a Reiki master. I do that in my practice. I have a few clients that's all that we do is Reiki. And there's some that I do like a hybrid where I do like Reiki. And if you don't know what Reiki is, I'll guide you to another podcast that explains that a little bit better. I don't want to spend too much time on it because really the energy movement with Reiki is really powerful. But what we're going to kind of talk about today is another form of getting guidance and getting healing and getting clarity. And what I will say with anybody that I ever do a reading with, I pull cards and I interpret them based on what I feel like I'm getting, almost like a download. And so there will be times where I will feel things or say things. Some things may resonate so perfectly and you'll be like, oh my God, that's it. And then other things I'll say and you'll be like, that doesn't really land. That's okay. Take the best, leave the rest. If there's something that does not like speak to you in this moment, because we don't know how these messages are being, this might be something that would be relevant in like 5 years. You just don't know it yet.
Right.
I remember having a psychic reading, forever ago. And the woman said something about giving birth. And I did not have a second child. I did not give birth. But when I was writing my book, you would not believe how many people would say, you are birthing this book. You are giving birth to this book. You are birthing. And I was like, so you just never know what the message is going to be. So what I've done, and this is what I do when I do readings. So if anybody's interested in me doing a reading for you, let me know. I do them. Um, love doing them actually. And I started our space, clearing our space this morning. I lit some Palo Santo, and I smudged the cards that I'm going to be drawing from today. I did a little smudge, sending the clearing energy to you, Leanne. I know we are thousands of miles away from each other, and that actually is irrelevant.
Right.
Our space connection is irrelevant. We can be across the world. So I'm gonna start with, I pulled 2 decks, so I could just kind of pick whatever spoke to me. And the first one is the Dreamscape Oracle.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And the second one I'm gonna pull from is the Enchanted Map.
Oh my gosh, those are gorgeous.
And I didn't ask you if you had a specific question. I thought we would just maybe kind of go into this a little bit more organically to see what comes up. But I do have a lot of people come and ask specific questions, and I find it very interesting when the universe wants you to have an answer. It doesn't matter if you've asked the question.
Yeah. Right? Does it matter if you've even asked the question? Does
I
it?
Don't think so. I think on like a psychological level, we think it matters. I don't think it matters in the greater scheme of things. I think it's like if the universe wants you to know something and wants you to go in a certain direction, buckle up. It's going.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go through, I'm shuffling this deck. I'm going to start with the Dreamscape Oracle. And I'm going to close my eyes probably for a good majority of this. Oh, one just popped out.
Ah, yay. I closed my eyes too. That was our souls connecting.
The word.
What is it? Oh, the word.
The word. Is that
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now you can see it.
Yeah.
So look, little angel wings and writing with a feather pen and the word. Writing. Interesting.
Very.
Oh, and I just turned straight to it. Page 47.
Holy cow.
I am feeling very aligned and very divinely guided. I don't always feel, I do my work to like clear myself as much as possible, but like in this moment, like I feel so very connected with you and with spirit.
Oh.
The word. Stories and storytelling have been with us since the beginning. Our minds are designed to share our experiences with each other. We crave the sharing of stories to remind us that we are connected through our words. Oh my fuck, did I not just say that a minute ago? Like when we share? Oh my God. The word leans into her wings. She studies a stack of parchment on her lap, her knees curled up to meet the paper. The girl holds a plume in her right hand, poised to strike the page at any moment. Her eyes remain closed, engrossed in the visions of the story her mind describes. When she is ready, a new story will get inked on the page. Greater meaning or additional meanings is write your story down and have a playful attitude towards life. And I'm going to go a step further, and this is where I'm going to just kind of channel a little bit, because I know sometimes it helps that I know the person that I'm doing a reading for, and sometimes it doesn't, because I know you, Leanne, I know how much story you have to tell the masses. Oh, I just got emotional. It's very similar to our podcast episode of Dear Cassie, You've Got Something to Say. Like there's this very like direct message and pull of like continuing to get your story out there, continuing to not just guide women and through like the teaching content, but like your story. Right? And so like getting like the word in the story down on paper, or it's 2024, so it's going to be on the computer. Be real. But there's this like real tug of intensity towards like, you need to do this type, like this is like part of your calling, but also, and I love that it had at the very end of the reading, it was to have a playful, right? Have a playful
Yes.
attitude towards life, because I think we get so serious, because frankly, I mean, I've written my story and it's serious, and there are some serious parts and it gets heavy, and you and your story have similar threads of seriousness and intensity, and like a lot of what we share is so raw and vulnerable and hard. But the message for this is like having that kind of like childlike approach of like, okay, it's serious, but it's not so serious that it needs to like freeze me in my tracks. And it's
Yeah.
not so serious that it needs to like freak me out. It's just allowing it to flow like kids let things flow. When they are in play, when we are in play, things just flow.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. How are you doing with people in your series?
So yeah, so it's so funny. A couple things over the past couple of days, actually, from like what, Sunday, probably even before that, to like today. So yeah, the last 3 days. So I started looking at literary agents and getting everything together to send them my query letter. And some of them, they expect different things. So it's just like, you have to submit a couple chapters, or you have to submit like just a blurb, or like not a blurb, but like, just the outline and stuff like that, and the outline of your chapter. So anyways, I started doing that again, because I have been like touch and go with it. So I know it's a big, big thing. And like just a soul, right? And you know this just by writing your book, not just, but like by writing your book, that it's like, again, this burning, like vulnerable, bare all, whatever. And then like there's fear of rejection, fear of visibility, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of all that shit, right? So recognizing that, but also Sunday, I ended up going for a bike. I took my bike to this one park and was riding all around this park, and it's on Lake Erie. And I sat down on this beautiful, it was beautiful, like this. Oh gosh, I have to like send you a picture of it. I posted it the other day, I think. No, I'm going to post it today. Anyways, that doesn't matter. But there was this beautiful log that was in perfect spot to watch the sunset. And I just got out my journal and I just free flow wrote just like words that came to me. Like I hadn't done that in so long, since I was like a teenager, as far as like the way that I wrote, and like not judging it, and like just without purpose or whatever. And yeah, so that happened. And then today, like I've been feeling sort of like heavy, and I've been reflecting on it. And I know that I'm heavy in metal, which is a whole nother story of just like the elements and stuff like that I'm learning about. And that came up, but it's like this way too much reflectiveness, and just like stuck and heavy and stagnant. And like, I was reflecting on my walk this morning, more reflection, of just like, gosh, like where did my playfulness go? And I remember like being playful with my husband, and how that actually like helped me to like, rekindle and ignite, right, our relationship and stuff like that. So all of these things just happened within the past couple days. So there it is.
Synchronicity, and like we said, when the universe wants you to have a message, like it will come in like various forms of similar messages.
Mm-hmm. And it's so funny, like when we were talking, when we're like, well, I have this space, right? I feel like I have had this space to do the things. And I feel like I'm sort of just like waffling. I feel like I'm doing a lot, but not anything, right? Where I'm just like, oh, look at that. I have the time to actually put towards this.
Yeah.
So that's another sign. Yeah, it's another sign of just like, I'm avoiding. Let's, refocus in a beautiful way, right? Not in a heavy way, in a like a light and just free. Yeah.
Freedom instead of obligation.
Yes, inspiration, right? Inspiration rather than obligation. So that's what I'm moving into, and just working towards the playfulness, which is ridiculous to think about, but
you are where you are.
Mm-hmm.
The next card I just drew is follow the leader.
Ooh.
Tree, there's a clock in the center of the tree, there's a path, different
I love
birds.
That. Beautiful.
And I can't remember if this deck has, oh, it does. It was reversed, so it's upside down when I drew it. So let's see what.
I always get nervous with the upside down ones. I'm like, oh, fuck.
That's how I feel when I draw like swords with tarot.
I know.
I'm like,
shit.
Every life is a teaching tool for others. Your authenticity and honesty are an example to those around you.
But it was upside down? Or is that the upside down meaning? Does it mean that I'm being cryptic?
No, that's just the general follow the leader. I'm going to read the upright and the reversed.
Okay.
I think it's just fun.
Fun for who?
You're called to lead others by example. Your wisdom has been earned as a result of your bravery in the adventure of your life. The experiences of battles won and lost, places discovered, tears shed, and joy revealed have placed you in a unique position to be of service to others. Your suffering has been crystallized into a talisman of wisdom. Now you must share it. By being fully authentic, you lead others into the light. You'll be required to divulge some things about your past so that you may help someone else. Lead with love. There is another message here as well. Look to those whose great character and accomplishments you admire. Emulate the leaders you respect. You will then, in turn, have more to offer. See, and I'm going to read the reverse, and this is how I usually do it. I think the reversed isn't the opposite of that, and we'll find out. But I think it's in addition to. So I think like all of what I just read was obviously true about you, right? And in sync with what I just read before and what we were talking about earlier about sharing and like connecting. And but reversed, the follow the leader card offers a gentle push to get up and take the lead. In a relationship or partnership, be the one to voice what must be said. Muster your courage and speak your needs aloud. Affirm what you like and what you feel. Don't just hope for someone else to fix the problems you see. Those who are not on Patreon cannot see Leanne's reaction. She's reacting in real time. If your inquiry, had you asked a question, if your inquiry is about a career or project, you must take the initiative to draw up a proper plan. And if it's about a personal relationship, you must be clear about your intentions and desires. Boldly begin a discussion about how things really are and how to make the situation work for the highest good of all. Do this as soon as possible. You may be pleasantly surprised by the results. So see, I think it's all of the above. I think that the upright is like the meaning of the card, and the fact that it was reversed has an additional meaning for you.
Yeah.
And tell me what you're reacting to. What's your response?
Oh, no. It's like, again, on my walk this morning, like the heaviness has been around my relationship too, right? It's not just this book and stuff like that. And I'm like again, because I'm in this self-reflective state where I'm just like, that's interesting. It's at like a similar time that it was last year, like very similar, give or take a few weeks. Just looking at like what my pattern is and how I've been trying to break from that, right? Like I will get to the point where I will look right through someone. Like I will look right through my husband. I will, and I've been trying to be like softer and playful, and it's work for me because there's so much happening in my brain of like this inner conflict that I'm creating. Yeah, so much. There's so much there. And like and that's what I started thinking. I'm like, gosh, I said, if I could just let my guard down, if I could just like open up my heart and just like say the things, we've had a couple like conversations, but it was more of like, I'm an Aries too. So I'm okay with like fire and passion and anger. Right. So like, these conversations were like, and this is what I'm frustrated about, and this, da, da, da. But like what it is hurt. Right. And on my walk, I was thinking that I'm like, no, I'm hurt. And I feel, oh gosh, I had the word, but it was just like, not misled, disregarded, something. It was something I can't remember right off the top of my head right now. But the main thing was just hurt. And I'm like, okay, how do I just like express this, right? How do I just say this? Because I know it will create lightness. And I know like he picks up on it. Of course, he always does. He's highly intuitive and sensitive. And I make it pretty obvious because I'm a fucking Aries. So like
a little dramatic at times. It's fine.
That's fine. That is just who I am. To my detriment and to the positives, I guess. But yeah, so that's what really came up. That's why I started laughing. I'm like, of course. That was literally on my walk before we hopped on. All of that stuff happening in my mind.
I just draw the cards. I don't know what they're going to say. And I was putting the last deck in my little drawer and I saw this other deck. And I was basically the feminine wisdom of goddesses and heroines and heroines. And it's funny that I didn't know how to pronounce that because this book is filled with lots of words that I never know how to pronounce. So I'm going to but I felt called to draw it, so I'm following directions. And the spirit will give me a card that I can pronounce all the words.
It's the heroines. It's so weird, right? Just growing up in like the addiction field. It's like heroine loyalty. Oh, Jesus. Antigone. Yes, be gone, Antigone.
The Antigone is the female, is the character, the woman. Loyalty is the title. She's ushering an elder man so down a path. Let's see what Antigone is in the category of virtues, page 50. And on a hill outside Athens, Antigone gently guides her blind father to the end of his long and painful journey to the sacred spot where he will find eternal rest. Her father, Oedipus, has unwittingly killed his own father and married his mother. Nonetheless, Antigone remains loyal and devoted to her family. She was even prepared to endanger her own life for those she loved. Antigone's heart is loyal to her family and the gods shaping its fate. And because of this, Antigone is entombed alive. This image suggests that she is conscious of being entombed by the fate of her family. Antigone is representative of the family member who is devoted and dutiful to the family. When this card is chosen, it reveals a familial situation demanding loyalty. Even though others may feel differently, it is important that you remain loyal to your group, recognizing a common bond. The feminine wisdom here is our family is our fate, and each member of the family is bound by it. The heroine's spirit acknowledges this truth in order to be loyal and true to her own individuation. I'm going to take a picture of that for you so that you can reread it.
Yeah.
But curious what came up for you.
I mean, it's sort of so many things because there have been a lot. I've been spending a lot of time with my family. I've been spending a lot of time with my sister specifically, not so much with my brothers. So there's a lot of conflict, like inner conflict happening. I'm also going today to take my grandmother to the doctors and stuff like that. Anyways, so it's like a lot of family stuff, but also the loyalty. Like when you first pulled the card, I was just like, okay, like this is something. Loyalty comes up a lot for me where, gosh, what is the opposite of that? Anyways, it's just like how, like the people that I surround myself with tend to be very loyal.
Mhm.
Like, and I can also be loyal to a fault. And when oh gosh, I can't believe I can't think of the word. Anyways, so that's what comes up for me. It's just like there's this loyalty and that I really value
Mhm.
and often feel conflicted
Mhm.
about where my loyalty lies and like why does that like yeah. Anyways, there's so many things, but yeah, it's interesting.
I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. And this is not uncommon in a reading
Yeah.
where a lot will be said and a lot will land in different ways, and it'll be kind of like, okay, I need a minute to like process this. And so that's why. So we're recording this because that's what we do. But I record all of my readings as well, and then send them to people so that they can go back and listen. And because it's also interesting, what you hear in the moment is not always what I
Yeah.
said. What
Uh-huh.
we interpret is not always what the card says. And so when we go back and listen, we can kind of be like, oh, yeah, okay, I could have sworn I heard her say blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
Right. Yeah, no, that's just how my perception is. And that's what I heard and that's what I felt. And like because of what I'm going through or
all of the above.
yeah.
All of the above. And so my encouragement for you is to heed the cards, not like in a warning type of way, but
right.
in a like listen, stay open. Fucking right. Get like flow of consciousness, right? Like you did before. Just let it all fall out.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what comes up around all three cards. I'll take pictures and send them all to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
what do you do as far as like when you are, because this is a lot of like channeling, being in tune with other people's energy as well as your own and spirit, although some people just identify it all as spirit, right? Because spirit's in me and you and all of it. So yeah, so like how do you encourage people to nourish themselves after this? And how do you in turn nourish yourself?
Yeah, so some of the very like obvious things are like drink lots of water, spend time in nature. So if you can get outside and put your bare feet in grass and really ground yourself, that is always helpful. Getting sunshine on your face if the sun is not shining because it's whatever.
It's shining, it's gorgeous out.
Great. So take advantage of that. I have a sun lamp that I use when it's gray out. And after I do like a reading, I sometimes will turn on the sun lamp to like get some of that energy back. And then meditation, like take some time to really meditate, reread what the card said, and then be really gentle with yourself. And it's curiosity and compassion all day long. If something got like triggered, if you like rolled your eyes and you're like, oh my gosh, that lands in a way that I was like, I don't want like that's okay, right? Like just get curious about that. Like that triggers something and also like get more curious about it and go back some more layers of that because there could be something. And it also, this might be part of the process where it's just pulling back layers. You may not get to anything specifically today, but it's more of just moving further along the path. And when I do my own, I'll smudge myself. I will, and you can do the same. You can smudge yourself. You can use sound. So I see your bells, your symbols behind you. You can use those to kind of clear the energy. But that's what I'll do after I read is clear my energy, clear this space, like my whole office space, I'll cleanse. And then I usually will pull a card for myself so that I'm staying aligned with my truth and the message meant for me. Because sometimes I can hear other people's messages and be like, oh, was that like an indirect message? Was that like a tap? I need to sign your sign. And so I will often pull myself a card. But I thought for just a quick minute, I'm going to pull a card for the collective. So,
ooh, yes.
The card is being pulled for anybody who's listening. If you're listening and you're like, is that meant for me?
Yes.
I'm pulling from the Work Your Light Oracle deck.
So gorgeous.
And Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, the original lightworkers. So this is going to be.
Huh. That's gorgeous.
Isn't it? Like there's the sky, like stars and clouds. This is now your opportunity to subscribe to our Patreon so you can see all.
So you can see the cards.
Okay, let's see there. I don't know. Mintakan feels Native American to me. This is a transmission card. It's 116. Maybe at the end of the book. Oh, okay. Mintakans. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Obviously, Mintakans. Damn, I just like had like a stutter, like I couldn't stop. Like I just couldn't. They are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original lightworkers. The Mintakan's home planet is thought to have been a water world with water so pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Mintakans feel most at peace and at home when in or around crystal clear water. They are here to teach us to see the potential in everything, and the light in all beings. Many Mintakans have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pull this card, it could mean that you are a Mintakan or a longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where it is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you're being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. Choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. The mantra or the saying is, I allow myself to be truly here and at home on this planet. I release any grief about not belonging or feeling held and call in the perfect home. And I just want to repeat that the Mintakans are here to teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings. And I feel like that's the greater message. If people are dealing with like criticism or judgments or of self and others, like we are called to not judge. We are called to see the potential and move about accordingly, right? Like no judgment.
Yeah.
Again, curiosity and compassion. See the good. There's good in everything, everyone. Sometimes it's hard to find.
Yeah.
But it's there. And I think like that's, if you're feeling extra critical today, this message is for you.
Look for the good. It's oftentimes like what I have people write in their journal is what went right today. What went right today? I want you to write 5 things that went right today.
And we really want to be intentional about it, and we look for it. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And in everyone. And I know that, going to the extreme of that could be hard, could be very difficult to see when we're guarded, when we feel like we can't let our guard down, when we're afraid of getting hurt, or I remembered the word, it was betrayed. I felt betrayed, which goes right along with loyalty. So, yeah. So, but knowing and seeing the light and seeing the, like, and that's where it is. That's what I was saying. It's just like, I feel like I have my guard up. I feel like my heart is closed off. And for all of us, right, that last card was just to like, let it go, let it down, let the light in, and allow yourself to see the good that surrounds you. Yeah. Thank you, Katie. So where can everybody find you again for readings? You're doing readings, yes.
Yeah, so my website is Release with Katie, letting go, release, RELEASE with Katie, KATIE. gmail.com. You can book an appointment there, or you can find me on any social media, Katie Myers, Release with Katie on Facebook, and then Release with Katie at gmail.com. So feel free to reach out. I love doing readings. It's a different way of like using kind of some of my background in psychology and mental health, but also like being led by the spirit in the moment. So yeah, hit me up if you want to know more.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our listeners for spending this time with us as we unraveled and shone a light and spiritually connected. We have that opportunity all around us at all times to be able to connect with spirit, with our spirit, which connects with other spirit, which connects with bigger spirit. So thanking Katie for showing us her gifts and sharing her gifts with us. And we can't wait to hear from you, to see you next time. And as always, sending so much light and love, and be sure to stay curious, stay compassionate, and let your light and your legacy shine just as Katie is. Mwah!